afternoon. I am joining you from Dallas, Texas. Another episode of the Saints Block Party podcast. Might be a little just kind of all over the place because I'm exhausted. Got into Dallas last night, representing our beautiful podcast, our brand, our business at the Big 12 Pro Day, which is taking place today through Friday. Uh, Me and Dante are here. Wolf couldn't was able to make it. Got the bad news today that out of nowhere, and they were on the roster when we got the approval that Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter were going to be here, and then when we picked up the roster sheet this morning, magically they were no longer on the roster sheet. Uh, but still, out here working, getting content. I already sent the email to Colorado Athletic Communications member because that Colorado Pro Days on a Friday, April 4th. I'm off on Fridays. Little little flight to Colorado. Might make that a little day trip with Jay
Mm.
in case we get approved. Not man. I'm trying to see like, oh,
You muted. You got muted again.
cool. My
Okay.
bad. So we'll see. But we are here. I wanted to, have this episode really to talk about the news, that our podcast reported. Um, I reported on Friday that was sourced extensively from my good friend, uh, and was sourced to the point where before it was even told to me, my confidant friend sourced it by like four, 3 to 4 people before they were like, I feel confident to tell you you can put this out there confidently. So I dropped it on Friday, and oh my god, oh my god, what a fucking shit show that was on Friday. But it is what it is. Like Derek Carr, the Saints starting quarterback, after all that kerfuffle that happened prior to like his contract, was he gonna stay? Was he not gonna stay? He still wants to be traded.
Or off
He
the
still
team.
wants to be traded.
Trade it or let go. Off the team. Some kind of way.
Wants to be gone.
Yep.
Wants no longer wants to be a New Orleans Saint. Period. Those are facts.
And Loomis got that man chained up. Can you imagine that shit? Derek Carr. Derek KKK Carr. Got that man like he just is an elite quarterback. We can't let this guy out the building. Make it make sense.
Just that guy. Hold on. I might have to actually switch to. Give me 1 second. We might have to take a quick pause because my internet. So I got a personal hotspot just for this weekend, and the personal hotspot seems to not even be doing right. So give me 1 second.
All right. See if I can pull up the live chat while we're waiting on Adam. Let's see.
Okay, that should be better.
Yeah, it looks less grainy.
Okay, all right. So apologize about that. This is what happened. So using hotel Wi-Fi, which I did not want to use because typically hotel Wi-Fi is not that reliable. But yeah, I think we're doing much better. So just to recap, in case things got cut off, Derek Carr, like you were saying, Derek Carr of all people, Derek Carr no longer wants to be New Orleans Saint. This guy, this
This
guy.
guy. I mean, motherfucker like me grant his wish. But look, y'all already did the restructure thing. You know, he's getting his 40 million. He was already gonna get the 10 plus the 30 after restructuring and pushing that money to the future or pushing that accounting to the future. So he getting his 40 M's whether he plays, whether he doesn't take a snap or not. He getting his 40 M's. But that does not prevent him from being moved. Although he does have a no trade clause, which that means it would be after something he would have to approve. But why would Mickey Loomis do it right now if they just restructured him? You know what I'm saying? So like, what would be the point?
And like that, me sending that tweet on Friday was just a great example of hashtag children were left behind
Oh my god!
because in nowhere did I say that Derek Carr was going to be traded. Did nowhere
I
did
don't
I say
know.
that the Saints wanted to trade Derek Carr.
No,
It was not. It said nothing in the tweet.
Carr wants to be traded. That's
Did
it.
did I say that the
Period.
Saints wanted to trade Derek Carr? And
And
here's what.
all I saw was no way we're trading Carr. Blah, blah, blah. Who said he is? What are y'all talking? Slow, bro. Slow.
Like I know niggas PSAT score or SAT scores and ACT scores with reading comprehension were fucking in the toilet with when it came to reading comprehension because niggas can't read a sentence
And they about to get rid of the Department of Education? Damn. He really cooked, boy.
cooked, bro.
Cooked.
Cooked as a society, bro. So it, so I just wanted to have this podcast in terms of what it means next for the Saints because the Saints, when I say the Saints, I mean Mickey Loomis and a lot of things going forward. When I say the Saints, a lot of that when I say that, I honestly am just I mean just uniformly I mean Aquadine Muhammad start re-signing with the Lions. That 2017 draft,
Still pumping.
bruh, bruh. Uh, I think it's Josue as a first year listener. You've said so much stuff that turns out to be true. I'm not sure how people kept doubting the source. I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole another separate episode, and we don't have that much
No,
time.
I got time to say it. It's because one, majority of those people aren't podcast listeners. They're just people out there on in the Twitterverse or wherever. Some of them are trolls. Some of them are just haters. Some of them are racist. Um, all kind of reasons, you know. But anybody who's
Why not both?
why not both? Anybody who's listening to this podcast, especially our day ones, been here for 4 or 5 years. Y'all know we don't put anything out there unless we're hearing it from someone we trust. Now it might not come out to be, come to fruition because
Right.
things change. Things change. People lie. All kind of things. But we put it out there if we're hearing it, and we trust. Sometimes we hear stuff that are interesting, but we don't even trust what we're hearing it from, and we don't put it out there.
Yep.
You know. But if we trust who we're hearing it from, and Adam has a good sources who he trusts, he put it out there.
Like
So
the people like try to get into an argument with me because like the whole Cup thing. Oh well, technically you didn't break the Cooper Cup thing first. Like it was already broken by blah blah blah. And I'm like, man, we've been talking about the Cooper Cup thing in our Discord before it was even before we talked about it Thursday night because we finally recorded a podcast episode. There are things that we talk about in our Discord before we even talk about it on a podcast. Patreon.com/Saints Block Party.
I
So just
mean,
because we don't do it in a podcast format, and just because we don't tweet about it, doesn't mean that we're not already talking about it before it hit the mainstream. Just that's y'all being left out. That's on y'all.
the Discord get it first.
I'm just saying. Anyhow, going back to yeah, even Mark said, even Underhill could not disagree with Adam what I said. Because it's true. He wants to be traded. Why do you think so many people in the NFL, Jeremy Fowler, Alt Breer, Todd McShay, people who have sources and connections in the NFL has been being like, oh, this Derek Carr thing, let's not, like I'm just a random nigga just pulling shit out my ass, bro. I'm just a random nigga just pulling shit out my ass, bro. Just taking time off my job, flying to Texas, trying to help you and I build this just cause, and I'm just putting false fake shit out. But look, anyway, Derek Carr wants to be traded. Mickey Loomis doesn't want to trade. Doesn't want to trade Derek Carr. The Saints are in this weird, gross conundrum of a place because I still stand by what I reported prior to Kellen Moore getting hired. Kellen Moore is not a Derek Carr fan. He didn't want Derek Carr when before he took the job, and now the quarterback that he didn't want now doesn't want to be on the team. Nigga, what?
I wonder if Derek Carr do that.
Bro, I'm guaranteeing you someone in the Derek Carr family listens to this podcast to some degree or watches it or some degree. I know it gets back to. I know at some point it got back to him in some type of way. Oh, what? Kellen Moore didn't want me. He doesn't want me. Fine. I don't want to play for the Saints. I don't know if it's. I don't want to give us that much credit, bro. Like that, I feel like it's a little too much.
But I mean, even if he didn't hear it through us, I mean, if we heard it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, he could have heard it through somebody with the Saints or something like that.
Somehow. So, but I have so many questions. It's like, why does Derek Carr not want to play for the Saints? Is it just because he doesn't see the team as going anywhere? And part of it's like, well, nigga, you're part of that problem. But
you're part of the problem.
Okay. If that's not Trump mentality on a bigger discussion, like, I don't know what is. But then you have Mickey Loomis, who is very stout. And I had a conversation with my friend this morning, just talking about, what a trade that would make a lot of sense, not, for both teams, just randomly throwing out NFL trades, bro. Like, what if the Saints call the Steelers and say, hey, y'all, I see, y'all not having a lot of traction with that Aaron Rodgers guy. Y'all need a quarterback, or y'all might be going to turn into Mason Rudolph. Like, how about we take our headache and Derek Carr off? Y'all have Derek Carr. Y'all have George Pickens. He's a headache. Y'all know he's not in y'all's long-term future. How about we just trade? My friend said the Saints would not be initiating any calls for Derek Carr. So meaning that if he's going to get traded or moved at some point, that means a team would have to call them to inquire about Derek Carr. That's where Mickey Loomis is. Like, that tells me, I guess my question is to you, I still, my biggest question still is like, how much, what is Kellen Moore doing? I guess we'll find out on game day, bro.
Because it seems like he just rubber stamping everything. Ooh, Jawan? Yes. Chase Young? Oh, yes. Oh, you want to bring back Will Clapp? Oh, yes. I like him. I worked with him. Yeah. And it's not that some of those moves aren't good. It's just like, who are you, Kellen Moore? Like, who are you? What will be your thumbprint on this team? Are you a CEO, or are you just like, an assistant manager? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you middle management, or are you an executive? That's what I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he isn't right now, but I mean, just read the tea leaves. It's like, bro, like, step it up, and we gonna see. Like, the draft gonna tell us a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what the Ireland draft look like. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's gonna be interesting, bro. It's gonna be interesting, man. But that's one of the, I guess, the main kind of disappointments so far. And it was already kind of wondered about Kellen Moore. That was the kind of question going there, like, is he like that guy? You know what I'm saying? Is he that leader? And the Saints really needed a leader. They needed an Aaron Glenn. They needed a Mike Vrabel to come in and shake this thing up.
Nigga,
and look, Tony Pauline reported
Go ahead.
Remember,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Pauline put out that like, it was like, Mickey Loomis he wants a guy he can kind of control. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it just worked out to like the only people available were what, Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy.
And
Where's Mike
I
McCarthy right now? Mike McCarthy
chilling. But I had also
sitting on
heard
the
that,
island somewhere, bro.
and I also heard that, like, as a head coach, Mike McCarthy is very much the type of head coach that it's kind of why Jerry really liked him having him as head coach, is he's kind of controllable as well. So
Right.
you kind of look at that, and it's like, okay, it kind of makes sense why there are factions within the Saints organization, like in the front office, that was on board with the Mike McCarthy potentially being a head coach. Shout out
Mm-hmm.
to Michael Morgan with the $1.99 super chat. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mike.
Um, so I think something that's gonna be very telling, like you said, the draft is gonna be super telling. Another thing that's gonna be telling even before the draft, because the Saints have a new head coach in Kellen Moore. We haven't had this in a very long time. I guess the DA thing, but I don't. I guess that counted. But because they hired a new head coach, they get to start their offseason program incredibly early, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
believe it starts the first week of April. One of the biggest storylines I'd be looking for is Derek Carr going to show up?
Huge, huge question. Because that will say a lot. That will say a lot. And it'd be interesting if that information comes out. And if it comes out, how will it be delivered? Oh, Derek Carr's taking some personal time, or
Ooh,
you
okay,
know it's
okay,
gonna be massaged. It's not gonna be just thrown out there. You know it's gonna be
okay,
massaged a little bit.
okay. Personal time from what?
It's gonna be something, bro. It's gonna be something. Look, Derek Carr's 11-year vet, 12-year vet. He doesn't need to be here this early.
He
He's
doesn't need to
still
be here
rehabbing
in a
his neck. I
in a
don't know.
brand new offense that he's never played in before. Oh, hmm. When we know his brain melts with any new offense that this motherfucker learned. The offense he learned with Clint Kubiak had his brain hurting,
And
but he don't. But he
twerking.
don't.
Brain was twerking, boy.
Demon Tom Swan said his house had a setback.
But he's still trying to move and everything. Fresno.
Um, again, we trying to keep this truncated wolf. Like we this whole episode could go on forever, but so kind of along the same piece with the Derek Carr thing. Captain Terrell reported of ESPN reported today that as of right now, with all their restructures and moving and shaking, Saints have like $26 million in cap space right now. The New Orleans Saints have $26 million in cap space.
Balling.
That is not even including the. They're still trying to figure out what's happening with Taysom Hill,
Yep.
right? Like they want him to take a pay cut. And we know that Kellen Moore wants Taysom Hill to be on the team. I reported that. Like that might be like the first alpha boss thing we see Kellen Moore do. He might tell Mickey, "You can't cut Taysom. He needs to be on the team. Like whatever the number is, figure it out." Right? So let 26 million, and then Taysom Hill takes a pay cut. I'm gonna say maybe that number becomes like 31 million after the pay cut. Right? That's a guess. That's not any inside information. So then you start speculating what what are the New Orleans Saints trying to build cap space for? Are they trying to do it to just carry it over for next season? So then they're not in the negative so much and trying to trying to have to move and shuffle and all that. Are they up to something?
I don't know.
I, some theories some theories I've heard. One aligning with the car thing. Maybe they're accumulating this cap space with if he is traded post June 1st, and I would think if the plan is to trade him, that would have to encompass them adding a quarterback in the draft,
Yeah.
probably pretty early. When I say early, I mean like the first 3 rounds, that they
Yeah.
are very, very, very excited about. And then he's traded post June 1st. And if that happens, then they're just absorbing that dead money, that dead was I think it's like a $20 million cap hit or
At
whatever dead money.
19, one thing about 19,
Yeah.
and
So they
then
just
there's
they
the
just
next
absorb
part
it.
next year. Yeah.
And then if they have $30 million in cap space, they can take that hit and still have like what 10 million left over without it being such a right. That's
Right.
one theory. Her another theory, maybe they were opening it up if they want to potentially add a player like Dallas Goedert from the Eagles, make a trade for him. Maybe, don't know. Maybe they're just trying to carry it over for next year. I've heard multiple things in terms of why they could be opening it up. Whatever it is, it's a fascinating thing. One thing I just the team feels desperate, and I hope they're not trying to do. And I have no inside information about, but I can see it. I just know how this team operates when they get desperate. If they were to do a trade and went and got child abuser 10 from Miami, bruh, and got Tyreek Hill, bruh,
Oh no.
I would still, we have a business. I would still continue to do this podcast with you and whatever. My days of rooting for the Saints as a fan, I'd be done, bro. I'd be done.
Done,
I'd be
man.
done.
And that would just be bad football because he is past his prime. Bad contract. Flaky, you're muted. Flaky, like just a flaky player. Like any moment, any adversity, any grumblings he has about his pay, about his playing time, or whatever, he quick to just hang it up. Like that would just be the dumbest thing. So I know you're not hearing anything. So hopefully it stays like that.
No,
Hopefully it's just
he's a distressed asset.
yeah, just
Here's
no
something I would
thanks.
ask you though, and I feel like I wouldn't do it because I felt like the contract he got from the Dolphins was a little of much of an overpay, and I really liked him coming out of college. But would you, if the Dolphins called you offering you Jalen Waddle?
Ooh, like me some Waddle, bro.
I do too. He's kind of had he's been obviously more explosive and obviously I think kind of a better player as a pro than Olave, but he's also been kind of had that same. He's been injured a lot as a pro,
Hmm.
very much similar to Olave. But he's also he's paid. His contract, I think I don't know what his average per year is, but I don't even know. This is all we're messing around, right? But this is just fun because we like talking football. But if you had to pick between if he was available, and I don't even think he is, but if he was, this would be really bad team building if you're the Dolphins, by the way, of like trading Waddle and keeping child abuse 10.
Oh my goodness.
But if you could pick as a team, if you're the Saints between George Pickens and Jalen Waddle with that cap space, and I don't know trade wise what you would have to give up to get either. Which one are you taking?
Between Waddle and Pickens,
Mm-hmm.
Pickens, that's tough because Pickens ain't making nothing right now. But you would have to decide on his 5th year option.
No, he's not. He was drafted in the second round, so he has
Oh
2
yeah,
years
no,
left.
1 year because he's the Olave draft, right? So this is his fourth
Yes.
year. So this will be his final year. Or no, yeah, this will be his final year, I believe. So you get him for 1 year on a cheap.
Wait, no. This can't be Pickens' final year? Is it his final, or has he got 2 years left?
I don't know. Somebody in the chat look that up. Either way, okay, 1 year or 2 years. You get him on a cheap um, for a year or two. That's enticing. But you also get the baggage of it's George Pickens.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
Waddle, you don't have any of that baggage, but
Oh
I'm
shit.
trying
Yeah, you're right. It's 1 year because he was 2022,
right.
so it's 1 year.
His Waddle's average salary.
It got to be like I want to say like just 26 a year, bro. I feel like it's
Yeah,
like 26.
his cash earning this year is 16 million, 28 average a year,
Yeah, 28. I was close.
and 2025. Uh, Most of his shit has been paid though already, so it wouldn't be too bad. I mean, I guess if you had to put a gun to my head, I'll probably gamble with Waddle. I mean, with Pickens, just
Ooh.
because it's a gamble, but it's like you don't lose as much. Whereas with Waddle, although I feel like you're getting a better player overall, age, cost, injury, and
Yeah,
once you just add it all together, and then like
yeah.
what he would add to the offense, I feel like we kind of have it
Yeah.
already.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
Where Pickens
It's
is
the
more of like
different dimension.
different dimensions. So I would probably, gun in my head, I would go Pickens, but it's more risky. Like it's more like with the Pickens thing. Like I would want to give up like a 26 conditional, like a fourth that can turn into a third if he's on the roster at the end of the season, or he plays if he plays every game or something like that, like something that would just protect me in case he just goes batshit crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Which
something,
is
just some kind of protection.
very possible. Which is very possible. Very
He might
possible.
just like dude crazy, bro. Good player when he's on though. He's like good, like
Yes,
like he's a dimension in this offense that would very much be needed if he's
very much so.
like locked in. Him with Kellen, bro. Like Kellen, sit your ass
That's about
down, bro.
worse.
I mean, you talk about Mike Tomlin, go from Mike Tomlin to Kellen Moore?
And
Come
Kellen didn't really have to like. Kellen wasn't dealing with AJ Brown. Like
on.
that was
Mm-mm.
Nick Sirianni.
All right.
For so um we got about 8 minutes left.
We
How
good. We good.
how do you see this car thing playing out, man? How,
It's like I try to separate my hopes and dreams
yeah, yeah, for sure.
from reality. Reality is Loomis is running the show.
Hmm.
And Loomis wants a competitive team for 2025.
Hashtag running back 2024.
What we've seen so far, all the evidence, everything.
Bro, that Steve Weiss clip yesterday when that man said they feel like getting Gottschall
Got
was
y'all.
the key to their defense. I love Steve Weiss. Love him.
I love Steve, bro. Got to get him
Like
on the pod one day.
like Kevin said, I need to see the Zelle transactions before that fucking media hit ran. If you
Uh,
telling me that
gotcha.
fucking Gottjaw a nose tackle that they traded for and then reworked his contract for whatever fucking reason.
And what my boy Greg said, he had the cleanest contract on the team. Just $4 million. You could get out of it next year. Don't. Hear what the Saints do. Add like three void years to it. Turn salary into bonus. Like, yo, what are y'all doing? What are we doing?
The guy
Like,
said they got the whole team on the firm, nigga. A firm, Afterpay, PayPal, and Ford.
what the fuck is y'all doing, man? Like what? Like explain it to me. I want somebody to just break it down for me. But look, Mickey Loomis said in his presser after the season, what he said, injuries. That was the reason. Injuries, injuries, injuries. That's all he talked about. He's like, yeah, coach, blah, blah. Injuries, though. Injuries. And everything we've seen since has played out like that. He's running back, brought back Lucas Patrick, Juwan Johnson, Isaac Yadam, who
Oh
left
no,
and came back.
Landon Young, I think you meant.
Later Young, I'm sorry, yeah. Was it later?
Yeah,
Later
Landon
Young
Young.
or Lucas Patrick?
Lucas Patrick is like was
Went
visiting
to
the
the
Seahawks
Seahawks. Yeah,
or
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
visiting. I don't know if he signed, but he was visiting.
Later Young. Who else we brought back? Um, brought somebody back.
I mean,
Uh,
it the bigger question is who have they brought back? Who have they brought in that's actually like new?
Justin Reed.
Justin Reed and
Who?
Gottschall, bro,
Right, and I'm excited about Reed. Like
for
I'm
sure.
really excited about him. That was a good pickup. And I'm not even really knocking bringing some of the players. Like I'm not a fan
No,
of Jawan's contract, but I don't hate bringing him back. contingent with adding more tight ends, obviously.
Thank you.
But I don't mind bringing him back. I don't even hate bringing Chase Young back with the way the defensive line was just in tatters. You know what I'm saying? Again, we could fuss about the money and all that stuff. That's different. But just from the player perspective, I don't mind those moves. But yeah, man, like everything he's shown is that he truly believes what he said, that the 2024 Saints was a good team. Like those two first games and part of the Eagles game was not a mirage. That was a good team that probably could have won the division if they would have stayed healthy. And if the quarterback didn't get hurt, they would have been in the playoffs. That's literally what Loomis feels deep down in his heart. Or at least that's what he's portraying to believe.
No,
And that's how they operate.
no. He 100% believes it, bro.
He
No,
believes it.
there's,
And the moves, every move so far lays that out. Every
yeah.
move. And he's getting no pushback from the head coach.
But that's how I was just about to say, bro. Like, if you're Kellen Moore as a head coach, everyone talked about how much of a football psycho he was. Just a football psycho, watch film, up to 2, 3 a.m., 4 a.m., trying to get the coaching advantage against the defense. You, you mean to tell me that he didn't watch film of the Saints prior to taking the job? I know he did.
They did. And he's rolling with the Loomis excuse. Like I was watching, they had like all the coaches at their little like media scrum party or whatever. And all of them were like, yeah, like the first two games, maybe the first two games, they look good. And then they got injured, a lot of banged up. And they did get injured. It's not that, like, they had the most offensive line, different combinations on the offensive line than anybody in the league last year.
But
Like,
you know
it
who
was,
else?
it was
You know who had the most like starters like on IR last season? The Detroit Lions.
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, I understand, like, the injuries are a real thing, but it's not like that's part of the evaluation, is what I'm saying. Like,
It is, but
the injuries
it
are
is,
part of the evaluation. Like,
and that's
are
what.
they going
But
to be
listen,
healthy this year?
but it's also again, this is why also the Saints who have the best access to media don't really have the best access to media, because then my question would be to Mickey Loomis is whose responsibility is it to build the depth behind the starters when players get
Hello,
injured?
hello. Why don't you have a backup center?
Uh-oh.
Like
Uh-oh.
Kendra Miller, your backup running back who
Who
can't
who
get on the
who
field.
who drafted him? Was that Mickey? Uh, uh-oh.
Oh, you need pass rush and Isaiah Foskey.
Oh, he just
The,
on specialty.
the clean 55 jersey standing over there. Like, who
Oh,
got? Why is he in the building? Who decided to draft him?
me and Dante was talking about it today. He said it. He said, bro, if you really think about it, he said that 2023 draft class might be one of the worst Saints draft classes of all time, bro. If you really think about it.
Hard to argue. Hard to argue, especially like if Brissett don't elevate from here. Like if this is Brissett, like if this version of Brissett is what you get, whoo, that's a bad class, boy. That's
It's an all time, bro. It's worse than
whoo,
2020. It's worse than 2018,
whoo, that's some bad classes too, boy.
bro.
2020,
20
ooh,
Zach Bond was a defensive player of the year candidate, sir. Uh 2018, you can
not for
argue.
Saints.
I'm talking about just a player.
Yeah,
Just
I
a
know,
player
I know.
draft. 2018, as much as I can't stand him, the first 2 years, Marcus Davenport
Gave us a little something.
gave us something. Boston Scott went to Philadelphia, was a productive player. Even fucking Traquan for about 2.5 seasons.
Hey, like 11, 12 TDs or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What can you say about the 2023 draft class except for Brian Bresee?
Brian
Not
Brissett got some sacks, but is not a consistent.
You can say
Uh,
Brian Bresee got that block field goal that
Look at
pass.
them. God damn it, we could have been picking 8. I don't know, like
Probably
um,
at least seventh.
um. Then you get Foskey. We talked about him at nauseum. Kendra Miller,
Kendra Miller,
just
Jake Hayner,
Jake Hayner wasted.
A.T. Perry,
A.T. Perry is on the Broncos.
and all timer in terms of.
That's why I don't want to hear shit about the cap. Don't tell me nothing about how the Saints manage the cap, man. Tell me
Please
nothing
don't.
about that.
Please
Tell
don't.
me nothing about that,
Hey,
bro.
Andrew Brandt, can you like you work for the Packers for so long? The Packers do so well because they draft great and develop talent. Instead of you talking about how the Saints manage their cap, just talk about how they don't draft, how they haven't drafted well. Just focus on that.
Oh,
Like,
but they say, oh, well, the draft is a crapshoot. It's like it's a crapshoot, but you get paid. Like you get paid. These guys get paid a lot of money to do a job, and when you're doing bad at your job,
then how do you
you need.
still have a job?
Thank you. Oh, it's just a crapshoot. Like what? Work it out here and work, man. Make smart moves. I was listening to something that was talking about the Eagles, how they brought in like a company to do a study to quantify like how off the field issues impact draft value and stuff like that. Just doing all kind of
Oh,
technical studies. Just
well,
like
they was like they must have fell asleep when Jalen Carter when it came to Jalen Carter.
oh, well, I mean, it was just like it was one of the things like, well, how do we weigh off the field things? Like, how much do we weigh it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, but they just looking into stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I
It's
get
just they just
I
working, bro.
I appreciate that though. It's something I appreciate
Right.
because when you're a human picking another human to do a job, you want to as much as you can get as much information about this player so
Exactly.
you're not the Tennessee Titans drafting a player top 15 to play offensive line and a season later this man said nigga, y'all picked me. I don't even love
I
football.
don't like football, man. Shit.
Bye.
Give me my bonus.
Bye. I'm gonna be a rapper. Um So one thing I've been wanting to kind of address on this podcast, it kind of going back to where we started. So let's lay it out, right? Talked about free agency. So Mickey Loomis wants to save his job. And like you said, injuries, blah, blah. He feels like health. This man is betting on health. Like that's a weird thing to bet on, bro.
In football, NFL football.
Like, does he not understand? And I want to be very clear. Please look at my eyes when I say this. I'm not wishing this at all. I'm not hoping this happens. But does he not realize that like Derek Carr could like take a drop back in training camp and like pop an Achilles or tear an ACL in week one? Like if you're
And
bet like what do,
and he's in his mid-30s and he's been injured like 4 seasons in a row.
what anyway.
Eric McCoy injured all the time. Chris Olave, we talked about him. Like, and this is football. There will be injuries. Like,
Rashid has not finished a season healthy. Kendra Miller been drafted in 2 seasons have not been healthy.
a walking injury. Somehow
But
Foskey gets hurt every year. Like why are you on the injury report, nigga? Like,
picking his girl up too straight. Oh, just picked her up too hard. Oh, just picked oh shit, my shoulder. God damn. Limp LP. He was LP shoulder. So this is what it was. The Saints was weighing cutting Carr and not being able to spend in free agency. So and I don't know. I think they could have still done some things around the edges. Like I think they could have still traded for Gotcha. I think they could have probably brought back Yadam, Will Clapp.
yeah.
But they would have missed out on Justin Reed. They probably wouldn't have brought, they probably would have been able to bring back Chase Young
Yeah.
because his
I
base
think they would
salary
have.
for this season is not that expensive.
Right, and
But the
his cap hit was going to be actually higher if
yes.
so. Him and Jawine actually could have been brought back even without the car restructure.
So is that all that they did in free agency? And let's say they are able. Let's throw this in there, right? Let's say for the sake of this experiment, add they heavily went after Cooper Cup. They were willing to meet the range of what he was wanting to get paid, but they weren't willing to match the years that Seattle paid him. So let's say add a Cooper Cup, add a Dallas Goddard or add a Keenan Allen, just as examples, onto the free agency they've already had, in totality of that's the Saints free agency, versus just cutting Carr, making him a post June 1st cut, and then maybe being able to keep Chase Young or bring back Chase Young, bring back Jawan, and just do just around the edges moves without adding Justin Reed, without adding a receiver. Which route as a fan would you have rather have gone?
I mean, I would rather go that with me. I mean, shit, it's easy for me. But there are a lot of fans that disagree. There were a lot of fans that'll be like, well, look, that's like tanking the season because you go into a season with either a rookie or Spencer Rattler, and it's like tanking pretty much. And I mean, I just disagree. I disagree that that's tanking. I disagree that that's. I think that's forward thinking, man. You would be locked into at least going to draft a quarterback, either
Yep.
high or at some point.
At some point,
So
yep.
what? Teams do it every year. It's like, oh yeah, he might not be good. So okay, like
Why are
teams
people
teams
why
miss
are
on
people
quarterbacks every year,
why,
bro.
why are fans so scared of drafting fucking quarterbacks, bro? Like what is this?
Scared.
Which is what and this is the funny shit that makes me hilarious. The same fans that are like have this aversion to drafting quarterbacks are the same people that will be on like fantasy sites or daily betting will just betting a shit ton of money on it's all a gamble.
All of it.
So
All of it.
you willing to bet your own money, and it's a statistical gamble. You take in the information that you have. Oh, this player is going to go over his points. This player is going to have this many assists. This player is going to have X number of yards. You're taking a gamble the same way a team would take a gamble with all the information that they have, and either that player is going to turn out to be right or turn out to not hit or not hit. But that player hits and that player hits and that plays a quarterback, guess what? That's a lot of money in your pocket on a rookie deal.
Yeah.
But I've noticed it immensely these last like since Rattler got drafted and and even this year, people have this like they are allergic to wanting to draft. And it feels like it's very Saints related. Like I don't feel like
Yeah.
it's that way with other teams. It's weird,
No.
man.
Yeah, man. It's weird. Because look, they haven't drafted a quarterback in the first round since Archie Manning, man. Like they don't even know what it feels like. And they got lucky with Drew Brees in free agency. You know what I'm saying?
Ugh,
Like,
oh, man. Spoiled,
so it's
bro. You
like
got spoiled.
got spoiled, man. Like you gotta understand that would never happen again. That'll never happen again. You would never get a Hall of Fame quarterback in free agency. It won't happen.
One more thing. Oh, I was gonna ask you. It's gonna come back to me. Hold on. Oh, I want to hear the Jalen Milroe point. Went in on this point. So he unofficially ran a 4.37 today at Alabama's program.
Ooh.
I understand why he didn't run it at the combine. I understand it. Man, I wish he would have. I
I
wish
wish
he
you would
would
have
have.
too, bro. That would have built that train, that hype train, boy.
It choo choo, bro. It would been building. But as much as I have my beef with him and he's been blocked for years plus, I understand the Josh Norris thing. Just you don't count it twice. You put on any Jalen Milroe film, and that 4.3 that I don't know what the official number actually came out to be, but that 4.37, like it is clear he's a 4.37 runner,
No, no
clear as
question.
day. Finding that, so having this conversation with my one of my good, excellent friend. I do this person a disservice by just calling them a friend at this point. Very interesting to find out that the Saints, prior to the crater that Jalen Monroe had, second half of Alabama season, were very high on Jalen Milroe to the point where it
Mm.
sounded like if he had continued, you know, that trajectory, and who knows if he had continued along that trajectory, he may not have even been there at 9, bro. But
Mm-hmm.
let's say had he, maybe let's say he didn't crater as much. but like it was maybe a little more uneven. Had he been there at 9, the team loved them some Jalen Monroe to the point where they were maybe thinking about drafting him at like 9, and then like he cratered second half season of Alabama. I get the sense just talking to my friend that the team still really likes Jalen Monroe as a prospect. I wouldn't be surprised during the draft that they draft him. I think the thing where what's going to turn out to be and find out is that where does that marriage in terms of player and round meet up?
Yeah,
Because that's the fascinating part.
very fascinating. That's for the whole league. You know,
Yes.
there's a lot of talk about the Steelers and Jalen Milroe. You know, is that at 21 where they pick in the first round? Is that more of a second round thing?
I
I
would
don't
hate. I would.
know.
Man, I would hate. I, I would hate. I would hate for him to be drafted at 21. I
Yeah,
would hate it. Not so much. I would hate. Not so like. I feel like money wise, like I would hate him for not him to go in the first round. But long term wise, I don't. Him going 21. I just long term wise, I don't think that's the right thing for him.
right. You want him to get the Jalen what's his name?
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts just was gone. Like I
You
want to get
you all right?
The Jalen Hurts treatment. You know what I'm saying? Like he needs to build him up a little bit, and maybe he could be that. You know, I don't know. I don't know. The talent is dripping though, bro. Talent is dripping. So I would love to. We don't know what Kellen
I don't know
Moore's
what's
quarterback look like either.
and his
What's his
range.
type?
His range is faster. I don't. Like I couldn't even tell
Don't know,
you.
bro. Don't know.
The conversation. I told Dante at this is what I would do. I told him I would if I were the Saints. I would just bite the bullet as a fan and as a person on the team. I would just keep fucking Carr for 1 year. I would go either Tet or Warren at 9. Now, I mean, if I'm them running the team like kind of with their kind of purview, right? Just no, not like if I was cat complete autonomy, just kind of how they kind of like are operating, how they're thinking. I would go Tet or Warren at 9. I would go Milrow at 40. And then third round, I would go best available tight end, and I would draft the UCLA linebacker if he's there at the bottom of the third round, and then probably try to go defense, offensive line, whatever, rest of the draft. Um, let Carr play out the rest of the. Let Carr play out all the season. He's not going to play out all the season because at some point he's going to get hurt. And then that next, whatever that next season or next off season, it's Rattler going into year 3. It's Milrow. It's
Ooh.
it's that scene in The Dark Knight. One opening. Y'all have at it.
But you know what that sounds like? A vision.
Oh, what?
Can't have that.
What?
And that's what gets me with Mickey Loomis. Like Mickey Loomis as the GM, as the top executive with the team, you're supposed to be the one with the long term vision. You're supposed to be the one with the long term time horizon. Whereas the coaches obviously are year to year. They're thinking year to year. How do I win this year? That's what they're supposed to think. What's I can do to win this year? And that's the moves they. But there's supposed to be balance by the GM who has the long term vision, the long term
Mm-hmm.
health, and the long
Mm-hmm.
term outlook of the team. But it's like Mickey thinking like the coaches. Like Mickey just like all about this year. Don't even worry about the future.
And I
It's like
think, but I think that pressures on him is more year to year because it's becoming just job security to him at this point. He can't think about the next 2 to 3 years
bro,
because
you
he's just
damn
trying to
near 70 years old, bro. Hang it
he's trying
up.
trying to survive.
You act like you might have got new kids on the way or something, man. About to be 70 years old, bro. Like got your 200 plus wins. Like, bro, just chill, man. Muted. Muted.
Uh, even with Milrow, even
Muted
man,
again. Oh, there we go.
God, if he
There we
don't
go.
if he don't work out at quarterback at 40, shit, he the second best running back other
I'm
than
just saying.
Kendra. Nigga, I just
I'm just like you could still. That's the thing about Milrow is like you could still use him. You know, like even if you just can't get the best quarterback out of him, you can still get value from him. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like your normal pocket passer, I mean, if they're not good, they're wasting a spot on your team.
a
You know what
walking
I'm saying?
spot.
Yeah, I
Hey,
agree, bro. I'd be down with that. Like Milrow at 40, I'd be down. Like people are he's so divisive for a lot of people, especially like SEC college fans or
bro,
whatever.
but
But
I get the divisiveness because that second half of Bama
I
was,
get it. I get it,
ooh, it
bro.
was
It's
bad.
like,
But he has that one thing, that one trait that no quarterback in this entire draft class has. He has that. It's elite. He has like you can't teach what he has because once you see it, he has that open field, bruh. He enters the league as a top three, top four fastest quarterback. Like when he as a rookie.
oh yeah, no question, no question. So
Some to think about, bro. Um. Anyhow, we just wanted to get this one out here. I just wanted to just have a more nuanced conversation regarding the whole um Derek Carr thing. Jay Sean had asked. You had a question earlier, Jay Sean. I didn't see what I wanted to respond to it. I don't know if I can find it. Uh, this is terrible. If you're listening to just the audio version of this, oh yeah, you asked shit. Why not go get Jalen Ramsey? That's he has a awful, terrible contract, and he is old. Like it would just be a bad move. Like that's another like distressed asset. Like that
yeah,
extension that the Dolphins gave him was very like I'll tell you around the league it was thought to be like a very head scratching contract extension when the Dolphins
me
gave it to
too.
him.
Dolphins be
I
tripping, bro.
uh, kind of another team like they don't get the heat as much because they've been more successful. But another team, when you think about their long term vision of like the future, you can like I couldn't tell you what it is for Miami. No idea.
No
Anyway,
idea, bro.
uh, so we will be covering. So tomorrow, um, I'll be honest with you. Me and Dante the left halfway through. It was some of it was a setup because like they did like the workouts were done on the completely other side of the field, and it felt like and they did that. We were talking to some people who were there last year, and it feels like they did that like as a power trip, and it was. But we'll be there. We got a good interview with Caleb Rogers, Texas Tech offensive lineman. I'm going to post that to YouTube, and just going to post it online in general. It's not going to be Patreon. It's not going to be Patreon only. It's just kind of just catching up with him because we talked to him at the Senior Bowl. Um, so great little interview. I was able to do with Caleb Rogers. I'm gonna get that up after we get this episode up and everything. But tomorrow there's juice. Tomorrow there's gonna be juice tomorrow. I'm gonna try to talk to your dude Savion Williams who's working out
Oh,
tomorrow. So, but like there was no like the defensive linemen and linebackers. Me and Dante went and we just not like we dipped out, went had lunch. I made an impulse buy at the Louis store that I'm probably about to return because I don't think I got some sunglasses, but I don't think that I can get my prescription lenses put in them, which would be
oh,
and I can't. There's no point in we having sunglasses when I can't fucking see if I don't have my prescription lenses in them. So probably about to return them bitches. But when I put them on though, I was like, oh my god, I'm about to walk out this bitch and just like stun on these niggas. But I was like, anyway. Um, but we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We are doing a little mini SVP meetup in the Dallas area. If you are a Patreon, if you're interested to do that, the details should be on our Patreon page. We're meeting up at around 8:39 p.m. Only if you're a Patreon. So the details are on the Patreon page. Or if you're a YouTube member, you'll be able to go as well. Um, I'm about to work on getting all this content up on YouTube, on Patreon, take a nap before the mini meetup. But we just wanted to have I just wanted to have just a really nuanced conversation about the Derek Carr trade discussion thing. But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We'll be back. I don't even know when we'll be back, but we'll be back when we'll be back. Maybe Saturday. I have an idea. This actually came from Brock. It'll be prospect of the week, but I think we're actually gonna do prospects of the week. Not talking about a single prospect, but just later round prospects, round
Ooh,
two, round three, just guys we like.
ooh, that's fun.
That we let's just do that. We're not gonna watch not one guy, multiple guys that we would like for the Saints to anyway. So that'll be our episode for Patreons for Saturday, or maybe we'll do it Sunday, whichever would be easier. But we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We'll be back this weekend. If not, we might but this weekend for sure. With that, we are out.
Peace.